Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our community playoff predictions stream. So, today we're going to go through the bracket and we're going to predict every single round and ultimately crown a Stanley Cup champion. So, this isn't what I think. This is about what you all think, the viewers out there. It'll be fun to see which teams you guys have going to the Stanley Cup final. And we'll see if you're picking somebody who's a favorite, somebody maybe who hasn't won the Stanley Cup in a long time, or who knows, maybe someone who has never even won the Stanley Cup to begin with. So it's great having you here. Of course, I am joined by my canine co-host, and that is Cortana, and she'll be hanging out with us all stream as well. And don't forget, if you drop in a super chat, then Cortana gets a treat. And we're going to have all sorts of streams and videos throughout the playoffs. So no matter who you're cheering for, we want to have you here. I mean, not like my team was anywhere near the playoffs this year, but there are definitely some good storylines to follow. And hopefully we get ourselves a great matchup in the final as well. So anyway, we're going to wait just a little bit for more people to jump in, say hello, let us know who you're cheering for, all of that good stuff. And then probably in about 10 minutes, maybe 15 tops, we'll get started with our predictions. Hey, Dean, happy Friday to you, man. Yeah, this is going to be I think this is going to be a pretty fun playoffs. I know we have some familiarity here with the bracket and that sort of thing, but familiarity breeds contempt in the postseason. And so to see some of these matchups return once again, like the Bruins and the Maple Leafs, like the Battle of Florida, like the rematch of the conference final last year between the Stars and the Golden Knights. And hey, we even have, for the third consecutive year, we've got ourselves the Oilers and the Kings. Jake Afton, Johnny Canuck, hey, Justin, hello, Ethan, his team's still in it. Micro, yo, what's going on, man? Winnipeg, because why not? Still a little heartbroken, so I'm kind of hoping the Caps get swept. Oh, from that would make you either a Red Wings fan or a Flyers fan, I would think. Hey, Mike, how you doing, man? Awesome. It's great to have you guys here. We'll get started in a few minutes. And actually, while you're waiting patiently, I do have something to open up. Prescott, hey, what's going on? Theo, hello. You've probably been waiting for this since about the 5th or 6th game of the season. So yeah, guys, I got something to open up here. It's coming from Hurricanes territory, so there you go. And actually, this is something that I decided to swap with somebody else, basically. So, hey, Rick and Micro and Cameron, hello. We got scammed. Oh, geez. All right, so let's rip into this, and then we can soon after get started with going through the Blackhawks, the bracket. This thing is sealed pretty tightly, though, so I'm gonna have to really dig into this guy. Idaho's it's clear. It's one of those rare clear days here in the Panhandle. Don't the Bruins own the Leafs in the salary cap era? Yeah, so far I guess they're 3-0 against Toronto. Chance, what's going on the Bruins at your school? And it lasted an hour. Why being a Bruins fan annoys you? Awesome, man. Well, yeah, I mean, assuming that you're still in school, you were probably really young when they won the Stanley Cup, right? Happy Friday, Riley. You got lots of teams to look forward to in the playoffs. Islanders are a bunch of grunts. Hey, man, like they could be a pain in the butt to play in the playoffs, because there we go. No matter who they have in net, right? That's one big factor. Varlamov starting game 1, by the way, in case you didn't know. I thought they would have stayed with Sorokin, but maybe not given him a short leash, but maybe even alternated goaltenders. But that's an interesting storyline. But, New York, the good thing for them is that even though their penalty kill is horrible, they don't take many penalties. And the Hurricanes don't draw many penalties. Average popcorn enjoyer. That's an interesting name. What is the best kind of popcorn, by the way? Any chance the Bruins sweep the Leafs? Whoa, that is very bold. All right, so what happened was when I went to the Hurricanes game, we're going to get started in about 5 minutes here. When I went to the Hurricanes game a few weeks ago, It was Martin Necas bobblehead night. However, somebody told me that he had recently given or picked up a spare bobblehead from a previous game. And I said, oh my goodness, you did not do that. So what I did was, without telling him, I mailed him the Martin Necas bobblehead. And in return, I got a Brent Burns bobblehead here. So actually, you know what I should probably do? I'll open this up. There we go. Bruins are going to choke. Oh boy. Would it be much of a choke if they lost to the Leafs? I guess maybe so, just because of history. But, it's been 5 years since they met each other in the playoffs. So there's some roster turnover there. Yeah. Just throw this stuff out. So, Jacob, if you're watching this, thank you so much. Jacob in Hurricanes territory. Now, the downside is, unfortunately, Burnsy, this one didn't have a stick. Jacob told me about that. But that's okay. It doesn't matter too much. I just wanted to have a bobblehead of him. And, wow, he looks a lot more cleaned up here. Actually, he looks more like... Doesn't he look more like Jamie Benn in this? That looks more like Jamie Benn. But that's okay. It still has Burns on it, so there you go. Actually, you know what? Oh, Argentina, Lautaro. Hey, thanks for jumping in here. Actually, wait a second. I do have a stick I could actually put in his hands, I suppose. Yeah, Chewbacca. How am I supposed to get this stick between his hands, though? Because it's kind of... There we go. Hey, how about that? I took the stick from my Derek Ryan Spokane Chiefs bobblehead and I put it on this. That's a good look, right? All right. Wonderful. Okay. Well, thank you again, Jacob. I'll have to see if I can fit that on my shelves. With Beniers and Crosby, we might have to rotate them out. All right. Let's jump into the playoffs. We got a good crowd for this one. All right. So pretty straightforward. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, we'll take a matchup, pick a specific matchup, and then we'll put up a poll here on YouTube. So you can say, all right, this team is going to win in 4 or 5 games. This team is going to win in 6 or 7 games. And you'll have 4 options, right? You'll have 2 options for one team, 2 options for the other team. And then we'll see what you guys think. And, obviously I can't exactly control whether you pick who you want to win versus who you think is going to win. But in the spirit of things, this is more about who we think is going to win. But again, it's your opinion and not mine. Hoovy. Dave, thanks for hopping in. Rip to the Coyotes. Yeah, man, unfortunately. All right, we're going to go. Where are we going to start, guys? What side of the bracket should we start with? Should we go Central? Should we go Atlantic? Should we go Metro? Or should we go Pacific? That's the biggest thing you have to decide here on this stream. Start with East. Okay. Give me a division here. And we'll start with that. West, Pacific, or Metro? All right. We're going to go. Let's go Metro. Let's start Metro, okay? We'll do Metro, then we'll do Pacific, then we'll do Atlantic, and then we'll do Central. We're going to go all over the place because that's the way to enjoy it most. Okay. So, by the way, okay, my screen is shared. So let's start with the first round in the Metro. Let's go with the President's Trophy winning New York Rangers. They've got a 7-game date. Well, 4 to 7 games with the Washington Capitals. So I'm going to put up a poll here. So Rangers versus Capitals. And so it'll give you 4 options. Rangers in 4 or 5. Capitals in... Oh, wait. Rangers in... Let's do this. Rangers in 6 or 7. Capitals in 4 or 5. That would be bonkers. Capitals in 6 or 7. Okay. So here is your first poll. And, cast your vote as soon as you're able to. We'll give you guys a minute, and we can even talk about this matchup a little bit as well. So here, right, Rangers President's Trophy. and they've pretty much been in the driver's seat all year long in the Eastern Conference. One of the top teams, right? They have done a lot of this without Philip Hedl and even Blake Wheeler, but Lafreniere's had actually, he's seen an uptick in his goals. Kako, somewhat, I would say. Defense is really, really good, and both goaltenders have been great too, for the most part in the second half, especially. So, what do you guys think about this? All the votes, right? Keep them coming. Caps beating the Rangers would be hilarious. I mean, the thing though is, when we talk about the Caps, right, as an underdog, they're probably more of a dog than even the Panthers were in the first round against the Bruins last year. Because Washington, I don't know how they've done it. It's been all victories in 1-goal games for them. That's how they kind of make their bread and butter, I guess. Lindgren largely put the team on his back. And yeah, they don't have any. Check this out. Like, their fourth leading scorer is like Tom Wilson with, I think, 35 points. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? Yeah, it sucks that all the Arizona fans have to, that they're losing a team. That's just nobody should have to experience that. But unfortunately, it's just kind of how it is now. But at least other fans are getting a team. But I don't like it when it's at the expense of somebody else. Excuse me. Panthers get swept in the first round. Yeah, that is a hot take. Wow. Rangers in 6 after losing 2 of the first 4. Oh, okay. So you think they might split to start out, huh? Capitals got pretty lucky. But I mean, that's been them all year, where you're like, how is this team winning games when, you have some aging veterans who are clearly slowing down? John Carlson actually had a fairly good season production-wise. And you have Charlie Lindgren, a guy who's a career backup, right? And he's stealing the show, right? Can't wait to see the Lightning beat the Panthers. That's the matchup I'm looking forward to the most in the first round. Did I see that? That Matt, the AZ Sports guy, gave Shane Doan his banner. Yeah, man. I mean, Barstool was posting about it. I think like just about every hockey outlet, Spit and Chicklets, I think, was. Good for him, because I mean, the guy has just dedicated himself so much to not just like wanting to be part of the whole like hoopla of writing for an NHL franchise and meeting some personnel as part of that organization, but really he just has so much passion for building that element of culture in Phoenix, and so I admire that, and it's amazing to see what Matt has done over the course of his young career. Because I mean, I remember speaking to him for the first time when we were, it's like 5 or 6 years ago. And so just seeing his journey and seeing him be sort of rewarded for that and just representing his fan base as well as anybody else could. So it does warm my soul to see that, for sure. All right, let's close this out in about 15 seconds if you haven't voted already. But you guys are coming in hot with this one. Caps 1 or 2 is fair, considering Charlie Lindgren. Yeah, and I mean, you just got to think of it this way: if it's a close game, the Caps they're in it, right? They stay in it. All right, let's close this out then in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, big time. Okay, I got to write down, because I don't specify the number of games until we've picked all the teams in the East. So I'll take care of that. But I got you guys in Rangers in 4 or 5. I'll probably say 5 for this. But yeah, we'll do Rangers in 4 or 5. Actually, at 69%. Nice. 69%. That's pretty convincing that you guys think it could actually be a sweep. Okay, let's go to, well, first of all, I have to click into the Rangers. All right. And then we're going to go to our next matchup. We'll stay in the same division here. All right. Let's go to the Carolina Hurricanes versus the New York Islanders. So Hurricanes having home ice. Hurricanes in 6 or 7. Islanders in 4 or 5. Islanders in 6 or 7. All right. Here comes the poll. Rachel's got Canes in 5, Hurricanes in 4 from Nils. Micro going with the underdog here, man. My thought with this one, I don't know. Now I'm a Canes supporter. They're my favorite team in the East, and I mean I love the way that they've played in the second half. But the Islanders, when you have to scratch and claw to get into the playoffs, I think that makes you more deadly. And Varlamov is playing out of his mind right now. And even if he does falter a little bit, they only have Ilya Sorokin to help him out. And I think that they've had a little bit more top end firepower this year, so that I think that does benefit them. Somebody like Kyle Palmieri bouncing back has been a big help to them. They're not a team that they don't score a ton of goals. They're actually not too bad versus maybe where they've been in the past. But the thing here is that, if Carolina holds on to the puck, which they seemingly always do, especially against a team like the Islanders, who surrender a lot of shots, it's like, all right, well, can you get through the defense? Can you get through the goaltender for the Islanders? Dobson's got 70 points. Wow. Kind of supporting the Red Wings this season. Yeah, man, that would have been awesome. Then we would have had 2 original 6 battles in the Eastern Conference. Oh, please. Now, Prescott's a real one, man. He's a real one. Hey, Toria, thanks. Thanks for jumping in. Video James, these are 2 teams that excel in defense. Carolina has the habit of making goalies look a lot better than they would. Yeah, you couldn't say that any better, right? Jimmy, what's going on? They're going to easily be eliminated. Somehow, they always find a way to bring the series to the limit or win 1 or 2 rounds. Well, I mean, remember just like 3-4 years ago, right? They were a thorn in teams' sides for quite some time. And if it weren't for the Tampa Bay Lightning, I mean, dude, or if they would have gotten a bounce their way, who knows? They might have gone into the Stanley Cup final about 1 or 2 of those years. Carolina's too deep, though. Yeah, actually, Carolina's forward depth, that's been something that's looked good down the stretch. I mean, their top line has really flourished recently, but I mean, when you go further down the lineup and you see like how Jordan Martinook took over a series, you've got Teuvo Teravainen, you've got if you want to really have a nasty guy on the ice, you can put in Brendan Lemieux, I guess, but they have a lot more other weapons besides that trio of Aho with I didn't even mention Svechnikov. They got like Aho, Gensel, and Jarvis. Man, the dude has really stepped up this year. Do the Isles go with Sorokin or Varlamov? It's confirmed that they're actually going with Varlamov. I'm a little surprised to see that, but this is Patrick Waugh. He doesn't want to mess around here. Trevor, hey, what's going on, man? Hey, by the way, check out my Brent Burns bobblehead here that one of our viewers sent in because they picked up an extra one at a game. And at the game I went to, I sent him the Martin Necas bobblehead. So there you go. All right. So anyway, what is the poll at for a votes wise? 59 votes. Okay, cool. I'll give you about 20 seconds. Whoever's the hot goalie. I mean, that's the thing is that I find myself usually picking based on that. But I mean, look at the Avs 2 years ago, right? With Darcy Kemper and Pavel Francouz. I mean, they were both playing well, but not like Vasilevsky or even how Hill looked last postseason, and they were able to win. So you never know. Oh, all right. We'll catch you later, Chuck. All right, let's close this out then in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. This one is pretty tilted in favor of the Hurricanes. It's almost split between 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. So I'm going to say Hurricanes, but in 5 games. And I think this is going to go definitely. I think it'll go deeper than that, actually. All right. Here we go. Let's go to, all right, so we're picking the Hurricanes. Cool. All right, now we're going to go to the Pacific side of things. So we're jumping conferences here. All right, so the first matchup we're going to talk about here, Jeff Carter retired. Yeah, man, I mean, excellent career for him. Excellent career. You know, won, did he win 1 or 2 Stanley Cups? I think he won both of them, right? He was a clutch player for the Kings. Canucks versus, and I mean, dude, the guy had a long career. Being mathematically eliminated doesn't mean anything. LA upset in 7. Hey, I don't know if I'm there just yet, but I gotta think they're due against the Oilers at some point, right? All right, so we're gonna start with the Canucks against the Predators. So I'm just gonna type out the poll here. Preds in 4-5, Preds in 6 or 7. All right. So Vancouver, this is just their second time qualifying for the playoffs, I think since like 2016 or something, I want to say 2015. But they certainly came out like gangbusters, and they were able to stay at the top of the division this year. And on the Predators side, I mean, actually, our community had them as a wild card before the season started. So kudos to you guys. I wasn't quite there. I thought maybe there's a chance because I like the personnel. You know, bringing in someone like Ryan O'Reilly, but like Gustav Nyquist, he had a career year. The goaltending, they were able to weather the storm. Lankinen has been a good backup for them, and Saros was much better in the second half. Samantha, hey, good to have you here. Canucks in 6 or 7, Vancouver in 6. Give you the Preds in 7. Oh, Rocket Man coming in with hot takes in my stream. Carter won 3. I didn't think Carter won a cup in Pittsburgh. He wasn't on the I thought he was only on the team for about 3 years. You know the Lightning won't get past the first round. I don't know, J-Man. I'm very intrigued by that. But like if we go to Hockey Reference, right? And we go to Jeff Carter, Jeffy C. No, he won 2 Stanley Cups. He came to Pittsburgh in 2020 or, you know, in that bubble season there. But yeah, look at that. 851 career points. He had 442 goals. I would not have thought he scored more than about, I don't know, 320. That's amazing. Like, what was his high for goals in a year? 46 in Philly. Long time before I started making videos on YouTube. But yeah, overall, excellent career for him. Look at that offensive zone start percentage, 15.5%. All right. Well, anyway. All right. So we're on to the Canucks and Preds. Is Trotz in the running for GM of the year? Yeah, I don't think he would get there just because like they didn't make any big moves at the deadline. I think that has something to that's kind of a factor when deciding a general manager, you know, about drafting and yeah, like free agents or trades that you've made. I mean, I think that he should certainly be considered among, I don't know, like a top 5 general manager, but I mean, the signs are pointing in that direction just because of how he was able to, hey, Cortana, don't be looking at your puppy parts on screen. Cortana, hey, manners, honey. Here, have a treat instead. With Trotz, you know, he was able to start unloading some of those bad contracts. You know, they got rid of Johansson's deal. They did the Duchesne buyout. They brought in somebody like Ryan O'Reilly. That was a good move, not breaking the bank. I don't even think he has a no trade clause. So you have to give him a lot of credit for that. I think that he's got a pretty promising future with them. Ken Holland, GM of the year. All right. How's the poll looking so far, everybody? 60 votes. Okay, I'll give you about 20 more seconds to cast a vote if you haven't already. Puppy parts. Yes, I did. Yeah. And Brunette, you know, Brunette should be one of those guys that we consider for coach of the year. I mean, I wanted to say the same thing for Torts or Spencer Carberry for Washington. I think that all three of those coaches could easily be finalists, even though the Flyers didn't make the playoffs. Mike Grier. Yeah, Mike Grier's been kind of polarizing so far. I've sort of ridden the highs and the lows of with my emotions there, but I think that we can see through the trees with him so far. I like his drafting last year was really the first time he had to draft, and he did a really good job. So I'm excited to see what could become of that. But the thing is that those players have to develop in their system. All right, let's close out the poll here. It's got to be Bill Zito. I mean, Zito, man, the guy's a gunslinger. Kelly McCrimmon. What's to say that he wouldn't get it either? All right, let's close this out then in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So we've got 47% saying it will be the Canucks in 6 or 7, but we had 26% of people saying 25% saying Nashville actually would win this in 6 or 7. So I'm going to consider this Canucks, but this thing is going the distance. All right, we got the Canucks here. The Tomas Hertl trade was sad, but it had to be done. A lot of people say that. Like, I'm sure that like there could very well in 2 years the writing could be on the wall. It could be that obvious, right? That the time to make that deal was now. All right, let's go to the Oilers against the Kings. That's going to be the next matchup here, and then we'll go back to the East. Oilers versus Kings, third time in a row, and I mean they have one heck of a extensive history of playoff matchups. Oilers in 6-7, Kings in 4 or 5, Kings in 6 or 7. All right. Now, I don't know how the season series went between these teams. I know the Kings won at least one game, and LA and Edmonton, they have fairly similar rosters, I think, versus their past 2 matchups. From what I can tell, we'll see if we get more of playoff Leon Draisaitl. He's carried his team against the Kings before, but the Kings, when they're a dog, sometimes they can make turn in some pretty surprising results there. Oilers dominated LA. They're just too fast. My thing though is that like I remember 2 years ago, Quick actually played pretty well in that series, and then Talbot he fought hard, but he just got swarmed as that series progressed. But I mean, like I said, is third time a charm, right? They're gonna go after McDavid, Draisaitl, and Bouchard. Yeah, I mean, dude, Bouchard is more than capable of taking over a series himself. Kings needed to play the Canucks. I personally would have rather seen Kings and Canucks, yeah, because it just gives me flashbacks to like 12 years ago or whatever. Life depends on Talbot and Skinner. Yeah, I don't even know. Like with the Kings, have they been giving Talbot just most of the starts, or? Well, shoot, who's even the backup? Oh, Riddick. That's right. Riddick actually. Damn, David Riddick had a great season. I thought he was washed up, man. And Talbot still held it down pretty well as well. 14 goals saved above average, and 11 goals saved above average for David Riddick. So maybe they're not as bad in goal as I thought, or at least the defense is looking strong. Who wears 87 for which team? For the Kings? Gavrikov's 84, I think. Let's see here. 87. Yeah, I don't see an 87 for them. Dowdy ain't what it used to be. I know the analytics crowd are actually kind of singing his praises. Hi, Cortana. She's like, when do I get the pets? Dubois was dead weight. Yeah, I think his ice time has been down a ton. I've been getting Vietnam flashbacks to the Cowboys saying this is our year. Yeah, man. I mean, just yeah. You can't trust. You just can never trust them. Thank you, Samantha. Pretty sure you meant 97. McDavid's 97. Yeah. All right. How are we doing with our poll, everybody? 75 votes. Wow. Lots of people hanging out with us. This is awesome. All right, cool. Let's give you guys about 15 seconds if you haven't cast a vote just yet. Drew Doughty is number 8. Moss, what's going on? Thanks for jumping in, man. Who's going to win the cup? Well, I might have to reveal that at the end. I did also post it today on X and on Instagram. But you know what? What the hell? I'll tell you. Guys, I didn't even upload a predictions video because I have no clue. I had much more convincing points for certain teams last year and probably in previous years. This year, I was like, there's no freaking way I can make an argument. So, believe it or not, the team that I am predicting to win the Stanley Cup, this is a bit crazy. I am going with the Winnipeg Jets. I just think that they have solid depth, versatile defense, best goaltender. Bonus has taken a team to the final before. I'm going with the Jets, and I'm picking them. The way that the Lightning played down the stretch, they could be out in the first round easily, but I'm going with the Jets over the Bolts. Yep. I didn't want anybody to go into cardiac arrest if I were to make a video on that. They've owned the Avs goalie. Yeah, I mean the 3-0 against the Avs. But the thing is that preseason my pick was Avalanche over Hurricanes, but the Avs haven't been consistently as strong as I was hoping they would. But then again, I mean they've done it before. Granted, they had Landeskog for that. Anyway, here, let me close out the poll here, everybody. So Oilers in 6 or 7. All right. So we're going to say Oilers in 6. Oilers in 6. All right. So that's the Pacific side. Now let's go to the Atlantic. And man, this is the best part of the bracket, in my opinion. Familiarity breeds contempt. All right. So we're going to start with the Florida Panthers taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. I cannot believe that's what we ended up with. All right. So we're going to go Panthers in 4 or 5, Panthers in 6 or 7. And Winnipeg writes that they even get close. Well, you have to look at what they did back in 2018. They got to the conference final. Lightning in 4 or 5. Lightning in 6 or 7. Yeah, I think this poll is going to be really interesting here. Jets are taking the championship, Hermes. Interesting. I haven't. The other thing is that I really just haven't given the Jets their due on this channel. I don't think so. When I look at what that return for Dubois netted them, it's been beneficial to them. And I look, of course, at Hellebuck, and even how's Brossoit looked for them this year? Laurent Brossoit. Brossoit, 927 save percentage. Wow. That tells me, though, that the Winnipeg defense is effective, too. So it's not just the netminders. And I look at, of course, getting Toffoli. The guy has definitely helped out in the playoffs before getting the Canadiens to the Cup back in 2021. Monahan, being acquired middle of the season, right? And I like the way this team's composed. Nemesnikov has actually been pretty good. I don't think enough people have been talking about him. So you just don't see Florida doing it this year. I mean, if you asked me a month ago, I would have said that they'd win the Cup. And I think they're still capable of it, even though they kind of sputtered here for the last few weeks. Getting some wins at the very end, sure, but the scoring touch hasn't been there all that much. Jets won the Jennings. Oh, really? Okay. Am I allowed to vote Dallas Stars, or am I banned because bias prediction? Well, I want you to go with who you think is going to win, but I know that's gonna that some people are just like, no, 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 I want who I want, and that's I can't control that. So, um, the Canes are going to win the cup. They haven't won it in what was that 18 years now. Yeah, 04 was when they won. To be fair, the Jets are your favorite of the Canadian teams, and Bruce Waugh is a brick wall. Yeah, he's had a good career. I mean, a few years ago, I mean, I was like, wow, like he still got a job, and then they just turned it on. How's the poll coming along, by the way, guys? 83, whoa, 85 votes. All right, cool. I'll give you 15 more seconds here. But yeah, this one's roughly where I thought it would be. Peter DeBoer has been involved in every Golden Knights playoff run. That's right, because he was the Sharks coach in 2018 and 2019. And then the next 2 years, 2020 and 21, he was the Knights coach. And then last year, of course, well, 2022. Wait, but wait, DeBoer. Wait, who was he? Who was he? He wasn't coaching the Stars in 2022. Remind me what happened in 2022 with him, because I thought that he didn't have a job at that point because he had gotten fired. Or no. No, he got fired at the end of the season. That's right. That's right. And then 2023, obviously, Stars coach. Yeah, King of the Surf. It's a pop and stream. And you guys, of course, you're all welcome back for our game streams. I'm thinking tomorrow we're going to be live during, I would say, the Hurricanes and Islanders game. Or what I might do is I might do like part of that game bleeding into the Maple Leafs game, something like that. Who knows? All right, let's close this pull out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Panthers getting 47% to win in 6 or 7, but because the Bolts got a good chunk of support as well, we're going to say Panthers, but in 7. Okay. All right. All right. And then we go to, as I like to call it, the gift that keeps on giving, the Bruins versus the Maple Leafs. Your hot take is that the Leafs could actually win the series. I was thinking that, but then I don't know. How good is the Leafs bottom 6? All right, we'll go Bruins in 4 or 5, Bruins in 6 or 7, Leafs in 4 or 5, Leafs in 6 or 7. All right, I'll drop that in there for y'all. Get ready for the victory. The OKC Thunder are the number 1 seed. That's good. They have one of their players. I think what's his name, Jalen Williams. He went to my college, so good luck to him. We don't have too many players who go into the NBA, so there you go. The Bruins got to go far for Jack Edwards. Well, shoot. Yeah. We got to get a couple more legendary calls from Jack Edwards. Without Nylander or McCann. Or McMahon, excuse me. Oh, Nylander might not play game 1? Really? Bruins in 5. That's coming from a Vancouver fan. Yeah, it was interesting, PCE dude, because when I made my rivalries video at the start of the season, I was like, all right, like who do the Canucks fans, like which team do they despise the most right now? And I went on Reddit and I'm like, dude, they still can't stand the Bruins. Leafs 0% for 4 or 5. Vikings chat reports. Oh, Skull. Well, you've come to the right place. Nylander should be a go. Brody. By the way, TJ Brody, congratulations on him scoring his first goal on like the last game of the year. Yeah, John, what's going on, man? At least one of your team is in the show. Yeah, I don't know too many other. I don't know how many other like channels are doing community playoff predictions. So I thought this would be pretty fun to do here. All right, Canucks fans never forget 2011. Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, by the way, guys, I didn't mention this, or at least you can see it scrolling along. But we do have our very own bracket challenge here. So if you want to join the Twisted Wrister bracket challenge, there's a link for that in the video description. We also have a separate league for our Discord community. So our Discord, oh, not Photoshop, no Photoshop, go away. We do have a Discord community where we have rooms, chat rooms for every single team out there. And we're throwing up our playoff predictions today. So you're more than welcome to join that. And once you join, I should post a link to the Discord bracket challenge as well. There we go. Okay. Oh, Rocket Man. Hiya, hiya. All right, let's go to let's close out that poll in just a moment, guys. Going to beat Boston eventually, right? I really do hope that you do. You know, just kind of slay the dragon, if you will. Skull, there's chance. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. 102 votes. I love it. All right, guys. I'm gonna give you 15 more seconds. It's kind of close here between the Leafs and the Bruins. 15 more seconds. We'll win over the Bruins, and the Leafs will get eliminated in round 2. I mean, if the Leafs were able to get to like the conference final, I think that's a big dub for them, really. Leafs play. All right. Wow. Someone's feeling chatty on Discord. Oh wow, everybody's joining. Right on. Cool. Yeah, and you know we're really real chill on there, right? It's a good community, and really it's most of that is you know kind of running itself. So I love seeing that. All right, let's close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Wow. We're going with the Maple Leafs. I'm surprised. And we're going to go with them in 7 clearly though. All right. That's the first lower seeded team. All right. So we've got Panthers in 7, we've got Leafs in 7, we've got Rangers in a sweep, and we've got the Hurricanes in 5. Nice. All right. And then we got to go to the central side of things. So we start with who we think, not who we want, to win this series between the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights. Boston got more votes. True. Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm sorry, guys. I went with the plurality there. That's not fair. Let me correct that. My mistake. Okay, but that's still going 7 games. Thank you for correcting me there. Okay, Stars versus Golden Knights. Here we go. Stars in 4 or 5. Stars in 6 or 7. Knights in 4 or 5. Knights in 6 or 7. All right, so the Knights, we haven't gotten an official word on Stone for game 1, I don't think. And that game's not, I don't think, until Monday, by the way. I think what we'll do is during this game and during Winnipeg, Colorado, or whatever game, I think maybe it's Vancouver and Nashville, right? They're going to be two Western Conference games simultaneously on Monday. I'm going to have my screen split up, and we're going to watch both of them at the same time. Yep. So of course, the conference final rematch, but now we get to see what the Golden Knights could potentially look like with Stone alongside Hannafin and Tomas Hurdle, and we'll see if Aiden Hill can activate the beast mode from last year. Whereas with the Stars, Wyatt Johnston, dude, over 30 goals. What a season for him. Is Stankoven still playing in their lineup right now? And Thomas Harley was a huge success story this year as well, as he was toward the top in goals for defensemen. And I think he's been doing fine in his own zone, right? Yeah, Stankoven's still playing on that third line. That's a really good looking forward group. And also Chris Tanev has made a strong impact over there as well. So now will Ottinger kind of turn back the clock to what he did 2 years ago? Star 617. Hey, MTB, can you just not spam, please? There's an ESPN bracket challenge. Oh, okay, yeah. Ours is through NHL.com. All right, how are we looking here, guys? 84 votes. Okay, I'll give you about 20 seconds. Yeah, if Vegas has Stone and Hurdle. Yeah, I mean Hurdle's looked really good. They've got him parked in front of the net on the power play, and they've never really had like a strong net front presence on the power play from what I've seen. So that could be a good benefit for them because they haven't had like the best power play for the most part. Stars win the Stanley Cup is an instant villain arc. Villain arc. What's that, Cortana? You want to cast a vote as well? Here, Cortana, let's give you some apple here. You're being a good girl. There you go. Did just freeze? Okay. All right, let's close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So nearly all the votes really go to this going either 6 or 7. We've got 46% for Dallas in 6 or 7. So we're gonna pick the Stars, and I'm gonna say this goes 6 games based on kind of our votes here. Nice, Prescott. KO1. Yes. Her name was Karma when she was a puppy, and I adopted her, and then I changed her name to Cortana because I love Halo. But we're talking like Cortana from like Halo 1 or Halo 2, not like sexy Cortana from later on. All right, we got Dallas going on here, and then the final matchup of the first round. We got ourselves the Winnipeg Jets and the Colorado Avalanche. Jets in 4 or 5, Jets in 6 or 7, Avs in 4 or 5, Avs in 6 or 7. All right. So the Jets actually were the victor in the season series. They beat the Avs every time. It was pretty one-sided, especially with the last game. The Avs have the experience, of course, and they have the potential MVP of the NHL in Nathan McKinnon. So can he and Kale McCarr and Mika Rantanen carry this team? And for them, who knows? If they were able to beat the Jets, that kind of exercise the demons from this year, that might be all they need to get on another deep run and get back into the final. Jesse versus Luca. Oh, no way. Yeah, this will be an interesting one to track here. because I would think that this has potential to actually favor the lower seeded team. This might be the most even series. I think it could be. I think I think Panthers Lightning should be pretty tight for the most part. Hell, I mean, the Kings at times have looked like they'll overtake the Oilers. You think Georgiev lets the Avalanche down? Yeah, it hasn't been a particularly strong season for him. And I don't even know who their backup is these days. What was it, Jonas Johansson? No, it's Justus Anuin. I am not familiar with him. But Justus Anuin in 14 games has a 928 save percentage and a 2.25 goals against average. He's saved 10 goals above average in just 14 games. So who knows? Maybe he'll get an opportunity in net. The NHL's best offense versus the NHL's best defense. I didn't know the Avs had the top offense. Well, then again, I mean, McKinnon's been like a huge, huge piece of it, of course. And I'm not going to complain because I want to watch more of that. He was a top draft pick a few years ago. Oh, interesting. I know some goaltending prospects, but clearly not all that many. Cortana is going to be a winner with all the goal treats. Is that right, girl? Did you guys see what she's wearing, by the way? Here, can you lay down? Here, hold on a second. Cortana's rocking a Twisted Wrister dog shirt. And if you haven't already, check out our merch store because now we have all sorts of clothing for you, for your pets, for your boo, kids. You saw this coffee mug earlier, and we've even recolored our logo for every NHL team. So Jets fan, Avs fan, Golden Seals fan, Golden Knights fan. We have all 32 teams and some defunct teams represented in our store. So just check the link in the description below. And I'll have some more stuff to show off for you guys later. All right. So what are we at here with the poll? We've got how many votes? 97. All right. Oh, 100. Perfect. All right. Let's close this out in 10 seconds. Is anyone watching the Mike Tyson versus Logan Paul fight? I mean, God, it almost feels like we're in an alternate universe seeing that. But I don't really watch fights. Not really. Unless like my friend wants to watch it at a bar or something. All right. Let's close it out in 5. Whalers, Patrick? Absolutely. We have a Whalers line. Yes. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. And MVP members get a lifetime 20% off. FYI. Did I watch UFC 300? No, I haven't watched a fight in forever. Get your Atlanta Thrashers hoodie. Yeah, I mean, we have Cortana in Thrashers colors. Yes, we do. Let's see here. All right, so we're at 48% for the Jets in 6 or 7. Avs got 31%. That's not bad. So they got 40% overall. I don't know if I'm gonna take this one the distance. We're gonna go with Jets. I think we'll go with the Jets in 6. All right. Okay, so all of the higher seeded teams are advancing. The Canucks was interesting. We said that they would win most likely in 7 games. Oilers will also be 6. Okay, so there we go. Round 1 is complete. So now we can start with round 2, and we're going to go with, once again, the President's Trophy winners. NHL and Utah. I mean, unfortunately for the Coyotes fans, uh, it's not going to get any better for them next year. Obviously, I just hope that that there are hockey fans out there in Salt Lake City, and I hope that that arena can be refined to accommodate an NHL experience, because basketball arenas don't always produce the best NHL watching experience. But they have 12,000 like unobstructed seats or something like that, so that's a start. But yeah, I would hope that they would have a fun brand. I saw some of the names that they were possibly considering. All right, let's go with Rangers versus Hurricanes. A rematch of the second round 2 years ago. The Rangers taking that in 7 games. Oops. All right, here comes the poll. What's going on, Silas? Thank you for jumping in. 6,000 season tickets in the first 2 hours. Good. Well, that's great. I'm happy to see that. I wonder what their I guess they probably had a deposit and then they're going to finalize pricing, because I'd be really impressed if they already knew what they were going to be. They already sold more season tickets than Mullet has capacity. Yeah. It would have been crazy to see a team in Salt Lake, let's say 20 years ago, though, because that was way before the population boom. That's why that arena, the Delta Center, doesn't have a huge capacity, I would think. Utah Phoenix, that almost to me sounds like a bit of a low blow for Coyotes fans. I wouldn't mind Phoenix as a mascot, though. I think that'd be sweet. Unfortunate for Arizona and Phoenix. Good for Utah and Salt Lake City. Yeah, I mean, they don't have that many professional teams over there either, right? They have soccer and the Jazz. So I mean, that's good for them as the population continues to grow. Leafs bounce the Bruins and Tampa bounces the Kitty Cats. I'm gonna go with I've predicted myself. I'm saying that the Lightning take care of the Panthers, but I'd like the Cats to get revenge on them. Utah Storm and Mormons. There you go. Utah Saints. Personally, that I think that would be pretty cool. But they are, the Jazz, because yeah, that's right, because the Jazz went from New Orleans to Utah, so I guess it's almost appropriate to have another Utah team be named after a New Orleans team. Utah Yeti is going to the patent office. Really? I personally like that quite a bit. Utah Yeti. I'd be cool with it being just Yeti and not Yetis, because we have the Kraken, right? We have the Wild. Luongo's idea? No. What did he say? I do follow him on Instagram, I think. Utah Venom. That one kind of threw me for a loop. But then again, I guess if they wanted to do some sort of snake, they didn't want it to be like, Diamondbacks or Rattlers for like Arizona sports. This has to be the year for the Canes. Well, partially because, as you probably heard me talk about a couple of weeks ago, you've got the Gensel contract up. You have what should be a good deal for Seth Jarvis. Martin Necas will also be an RFA. And like Shea and Pesci, they could easily pursue the open market and get more money. So, yeah, there's a lot. Blizzard, I'm not as big of a fan of Blizzard because they're right next to Colorado and they're in the same division. So to me, that one, it doesn't sound bad by any means. It's a fine mascot, but really, I'd prefer not. All right, let's go to the poll here. Let's close this out in 15 seconds. And oh my God, it is absolutely neck and neck here. It's dead tied. We need a tiebreaker here, unless the Rangers technically are just a tiniest bit ahead. You know what we need, guys? We need Cortana to make the prediction for us. This is too close to call, but I see some Rangers pulling through here. All right, let's close this out then in 5, 4, 3, 2, And one. And yeah, by a pretty darn narrow margin here, the Rangers are going to escape. It's going to be quadruple overtime of game 7. Actually, Cortana, do you want to weigh in with a prediction of your own? All right. Here. Why don't you let's get it. Let's get a Cortana prediction on this too, huh? All right, boo. All right, girl. What do you think? What do you think? Are we going to go with the Carolina Hurricanes or the New York Rangers? All right, who's going to win? There you go. She's got the Rangers. I mean, she always picks the treat in my right hand, unfortunately. All right. Okay. Here, can you lie down again? Okay, good girl. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go with the Rangers, but don't check the math. Yeah, it's kind of weird. They always like round down by percentages. I don't know why, but still the Rangers by a very narrow margin take this series to advance to the conference final. All right. Then we're going to go to let's just finish up the Eastern Conference, shall we? We've got the Boston Bruins looking for sweet revenge against the Florida Panthers. So the Panthers will have home ice in this series. Cortana, Manderson. Bruins in 6 or 7. All right. What's going to happen with the Coyotes? Well, I mean, it's confirmed that they're being sold to the Smith Entertainment Group in Utah. But I mean, I think there's what, like a possibility that Arizona could get like an expansion franchise after 5 years, or is it within 5 years? I haven't been following that all that much, honestly. All right, Bruins or Panthers? I mean, like, dude, this could be amazing too, right? What a crazy series that was last year. I mean, the Bruins had a 3-1 series lead. It goes into overtime of game 5, and Brad Marchand has a breakaway, and Sergei Bobrovsky stops him and literally saves their season right there. That's what's crazy. The Utah Mountain Lions, I guess they wouldn't want to be the Cougars because BYU is called the Cougars. Utah Pumas, I don't know. But yeah, I would imagine they have a decent cougar size or population size over there. Basically, if Marijuelo gets the land and starts building, the Coyotes would come back in 5 years. Yeah, it's just really like where is the support going to come from for him? Salt Lake Sidewinders. How about Salt Lake Twister Bristers? I'll be a season ticket holder. I'll drive 10 and a half hours to go to every game. Panthers in 9. Nice. When are they playing in Utah? Starting next year, Samantha. So starting, I should say, in this calendar year in October, they'll have their first game. Yeah, isn't that crazy, man? The most feared predator in North America? Ooh, really? I would think it's probably I would think maybe a grizzly bear. Or maybe I don't know, polar bear or something. Utah Twisters? Well, yeah, it's not exactly in Tornado Alley. Salt Lake Benchwarmers. That's funny. Oh, I don't have any water here. Okay. Arizona should do it the right way and see if a minor league team can succeed in that spot. Yeah, because they don't have, their AHL teams all the way in Tucson. All right, orcas would wipe out. Yeah, if we're talking about overall animals, in North American waters, then yeah, it would probably be an orca. All right, how's our poll looking, everybody? We got 89 votes. I'll give you about 20 seconds for this one. Yeah, Kansas City Twisters. Yeah, that would make a lot more sense. Oh, what's going on, Humraj? Thanks for jumping in, man. Utah Shredders, like skiing, right? I mean, that could work for another team, like minor league or something like that. Cortana, are you showing off the merch right now? Oh yeah, you are. Good girl. Good girl. Here, have another apple, kiddo. You don't think the Panthers can keep up what they had last year? Like I said, ask me a month ago, and I'd be like, Psh, they're winning. They're gonna win it all. Basti Dub, what's going on? Thank you for joining us. All right, let's close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. This one's a little bit more convincing than the last one. Panthers getting 43% to win in 6 or 7. Bruins getting 26% of that. I'm going to say Panthers, but not overwhelmingly. I'm going to say Panthers in 7. No, Panthers in 6. Panthers in 6. So it was Rangers in 7, Panthers in 6, because that other one was so close. All right. Panthers in, well, it doesn't really matter too much because we don't have to actually specify the number of games. All right. Now look at this, guys. We've got 3 Canadian teams on the Western side. How about that? Hey, Bruce. Thanks for jumping in, man. Doing great. Are you excited for the playoffs? Because if I remember, you're a Blues fan? Oh, thank you, Bruce. Yeah, Cortana's doing great right now. I mean, she's 10 years old, but she still catches Frisbees out of the air. She's remarkable. Florida Panthers, thanks for joining, but easy on the spam. All right. I know you're just chanting, but got lots of folks here. You're fine, though. Utah Saints. I think Utah Saints is pretty dope, personally. Kind of reminds me of the Fighting Saints for the WHA team back in the day in Minnesota. All right, so let's go here. Let's go to the Pacific side. Canucks versus Oilers. And I know where my mind is going because the Canucks, I think, swept the season series, right? Super Soakers, Salt Lake Super Soakers, Salt Lake City Slickers. How about Salt Lake Bushwhackers? That could be a good one. All right, Canucks in 4 or 5. Canucks in 6 or 7. Oilers in 4 or 5. Yeah, the Canucks absolutely dominated in the season series. But remember, 3 of those games were at the very beginning of the year with Jay Woodcroft as the head coach in Edmonton. All right, Oilers in 6 or 7. All right, here we go. Utah overgrowth. That's an interesting one. Oilers are the West Rangers. I thought the Oilers were kind of becoming the Western version of the Maple Leafs. Feel the Rangers are not going to do well in the playoffs and will lose to the Hurricanes. But I feel the Panthers could win the championship. Well, if you just tuned in, the Canucks, or excuse me, the Rangers and Hurricanes poll was neck and neck. It was as close as you can get, just about. And the Rangers do have the President's Trophy, so we do know that other teams haven't succeeded so much when they've won that, not in recent years. The last time that for an 82-game season, the President's Trophy winner won the Stanley Cup was back in 2008. It was the Red Wings winning against the Penguins. Utah Ice Raiders. That's kind of cool. The Pacific is going to get demolished in the Western Conference Final. I don't know, man. Like, the Pacific overall has made some good strides in improving, although the bottom of it's absolutely atrocious. That seems like a curse. Indeed, it does, Bruce. So they don't win the President's Trophy. Yeah, I wouldn't be entirely surprised if the coaches are like, "Hey, you guys did great out there." And the players are like, "Oh, we lost 5-2." It's like, yeah, you had a good game. Just get a couple bounces your way next time, right? There's no curse. There's just more competition. Well, true. We're well into the salary cap era. Have the highest chance of winning it all doesn't mean it's a high chance. And as we saw, home ice doesn't really make all that much of a difference nowadays, right? A lot of teams that were underdogs or started on the road, right? They succeeded. I think like 5 of the 8 first round victories last year came from the lower seeded teams. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but as we saw, of course, the Kraken beating the Avalanche, the Panthers beating the Bruins. But yeah, I like to be a little superstitious. I do. Rough Riders, interesting. Hughes for Norris, Miller for Conn Smythe. All right. What is the poll at right now? We've got let's see, 109 votes. Nice. All right. I'll give you 15 seconds. And this is pretty damn close. This is pretty darn close, I gotta say. At least for plurality. Utah Mountain Goats. How about Utah Bighorns? Yeah? That'd be sweet. Golden Knights won on home ice. That's true, yeah. There can only be the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Anybody else have the DMX song in their head right now? Rest in peace, of course. Ice Goats. Jets defense or Dallas offense for the win. I know where my mind is at because I don't even have the Stars making it past the first round. Give the Canes another year and they'll truly contend. I mean, I think it's got to be this year for them. Especially like Freddie Anderson came back from the injury. He's perennially injured, but I mean, like, they only have probably one more shot with him, I would think. And I know Kachekov's done pretty well, but I don't know if I see him being the guy the whole way. All right. Let's close this out then in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This one was pretty darn close. Going on to the conference final, it is the Vancouver Canucks, and we would say in most likely 7 games. That's very close, though, guys. All right, so then we get to our last matchup in the second round here, and we've got the Dallas Stars versus the Winnipeg Jets. Let me get the poll up here. Stars versus Jets. And that would be Rick Bowness' revenge series, right? So we're going to go with Stars are the home team. We got the Jets, Stars in 6 or 7. We got the Jets in 4 or 5. I cannot type today. And we got the Jets in 6 or 7. All right. Let's see what you guys think. Florida Panthers, hello. Thank you for joining us. Stars in 6, their scoring depth overwhelms the Jets defense. I mean, it could overwhelm just about any defense because it's pretty damn good, really. I like the forward depth for the Jets, though. I think that kind of, for using the pun, right, flies in under the radar. And I think Winnipeg's got a pretty strong defense. Dylan DeMello's actually turned out to be a pretty darn good defenseman. Former Shark, long time ago. Jets are the deepest team in the league. I think that they should be considered as one of them, right? Right. It's like, can you get a clutch goal from Gabe Vilardi? Can you get a clutch goal from Mason Appleton? If one of the top line gets shut down, for example. And I think that they're capable of doing that. And the Stars absolutely as well. You look at that top 9 group of forwards, and you could argue that's the best in the NHL for Dallas. They don't have the OT woes this year. That's right. Yeah, I do kind of remember that this past year. It's the Islanders this year of all teams. Rangers are the most complete team. I think that there's a reason why they're at the top at the President's Trophy, right? I think Florida is a very complete team too. I know that I know their last few weeks weren't particularly great, but I think they have both the roster, the type of roster that will exceed in the or excel in the playoffs, and they also have the experience of being there last year in the final. DeBoer has had Bonus's number, really, but Bonus beat DeBoer in 2020, right? Rangers had the it factor this year, yeah. No. Like I think that that's legit. Like if you've been watching them, I think that you can feel something that is missing, even if you can't like put your finger on it. For some reason, that's why I'm thinking about the Jets this year specifically, because the pressure isn't on them at all versus other teams. Not to say that they don't have the standard to go to the final; they should, like any team should. But that's the Jets are the team that I think is going to be turning heads more so than people expect. And I didn't think about that at all this season. I was like the Jets. I'm like, oh, they're not going to be that good. Maybe a wild card. Igor is on fire. Yeah, I think he's got like something like a 930 save percentage his last 20 starts or something like that. Philip Heel might return. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Interesting. Islanders made the playoffs with 39 wins. Yeah, but at least they didn't have a minus 37 goal differential. All right, what's our poll at, everybody? We're at 106 votes. Okay, let's close this out in 10 seconds. Cast your vote if you've yet to do so. I want a team that's never won the cup to win. Yeah. So, Eyes of Night, we would have what the Jets. I think the Predators and the Jets, the Predators, of course, the Panthers, and also the Canucks, of course. The Canucks with the longest gap without a cup in the Western Conference. Blake Wheeler is practicing as well. Interesting. Do you think that he would, if he was healthy, though, he'd get into the lineup right away, or would they just kind of consider him a 13th forward? Yeah, Daniel, I think that it was something like that too. Awesome Rangers hat. Yeah, Vladimir. It's funny because years ago I bought a jersey off eBay. It was the Statue of Liberty, just a replica jersey, and I don't think I was expecting this, but when I opened it up, this hat was part of it, and I was like, "Oh, are you kidding me? That's amazing!" And I sold the jersey recently, but this is a great hat. I love it. I even have a pic of Cortana wearing it. It's really cute. All right, let's close it out then in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so moving on to the conference final, we have the Dallas Stars. Okay, so these are all the top seeds. So somebody's got to go down, right? We've got Rangers and Panthers, and we've got Stars and Canucks. Hellebuck hasn't been great in the postseason. True. He hasn't been in Connor Hellebuck mode so much, but obviously, you win with the 6 players on the ice that you have. You lose with the 6 players you have on the ice. So now we go to the Eastern Conference Final. We've got the Rangers and we've got the Panthers. All right, here we go. Cast your vote. Is there a meteor option? Yeah, the meteor option would be Panthers versus Canucks. It goes to 7, and it results in a tie. There's your meteor option. Neither team gets to win a Stanley Cup. Stars Canucks would be a great matchup. Bro, there would be some great weapons as a part of that from both sides. And 2 goaltenders who can definitely turn it on, right? I had R1 Avs beating the Canucks because of their experience. I mean, before the season started, I picked the Avs to win the cup, but just that first round matchup against the Jets, who've really stuck it to them this year. I just don't know if I see them getting out of it so much. Rangers home ice advantage would be a huge factor. Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. What about the Panthers starting every series last year on the road and having to win game 5 when they were down 3-1 in that series against the Bruins, and then game 7 they won it at TD Garden as well. But hey, playoff atmosphere though, if it's, more intimidating in New York, then that can play a factor, sure. Nice Burns. You mean my Brent Burns bobblehead here, courtesy of Jacob, tuning in from Kane's territory. Let's see here. Panthers and 7, Sharks and Blackhawks Cup final. There we go. Now we're coming in. We're coming in hot here. Sharks going 16-0. I will name whoever you are. I will name my firstborn kid after you if the Sharks win the Stanley Cup final next year and go 16-0. I would have a tattoo on my butt in your honor. Whatever you want. Awesome. There we go. Playoffs are no different than regular season. I don't know, man. I think some teams are just built better, like the Canadiens a couple years ago, right? They were absolutely horrible for a lot of the season, but they had the right kind of roster. They had a hot goaltender. They had some timely scoring, and they got it done, man. All right. How are we doing with the poll here? 96 votes. Okay, I'll give you 20 seconds to cast your vote. And actually, when you look at the two options for each team, it's pretty close. Pretty close. Bill Foley has lost the Utah market, but has gained the Arizona market. Oh yeah. So like they'll actually be able to broadcast those games. I heard though that Utah is going to be broadcasting games into Phoenix. I don't know. That was just something I saw out of the corner of my eye, essentially. All right, let's close it out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and oh boy, look at that! Look at that. So the Rangers had 50% and the Panthers had 48% because it rounds down. So it's a very, very, very narrow margin, but by the skin of their teeth, once again, the Rangers are going to win like 2 game 7s in quadruple overtime to get to the Stanley Cup final. So we're gonna stay with the Rangers here, and then we're gonna go to our our Western Conference final. Oops. And we'll see which team you like here. Have no faith. I think we're just trying to set up the Rangers for a President's Trophy collapse. All right, Stars versus Canucks. Stars in 4 or 5. Oh, are we gonna get a 1994 Stanley Cup rematch? Or are we going to get the Nils Lundqvist Cup? Oh, that would be a real treat. All right. All right, Cortana, have a treat, huh? Canucks and Rangers rematch. Yeah, a lot of people want to see that. I think if that happens, the Canucks need to wear the skate jersey. I don't think they can change in the middle of the playoffs, but that'd be amazing. Cortana for Stanley Cup champion. Yeah. Are you the champ? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're a good girl. All right. Let's see what you guys think so far. Oh, okay. This is pretty close. You want the Canucks, but you think that Dallas would take them down. Just Canucks fans, make sure if you go to the Stanley Cup final, make sure that you win it this time. Who will have the easiest path or the hardest path to the cup? Oh boy, that's a great question. Well, yeah, I guess the way I would analyze it is which kind of quadrant is the most difficult. I think like the Atlantic will be the most competitive. Like I could see, I don't know if I could see if Toronto makes it out of the first round. Do I think they could win a series against the Lightning or the Panthers? I think maybe so. So I think that like the hardest path to the Stanley Cup would probably come from that division. From the side of like the West or looking at the easiest path, I think maybe the Pacific might present the easiest path to the final. I mean, the Canucks, for example, like they absolutely dominated the Oilers this season. I know that those matchups came earlier in the year, and if the Canucks have to play against the Kings in the second round, could they win that series? Yeah, absolutely. Really good question though. Oh wow, a lot of chat messages since then. Eh, Central's the hardest for sure. I think that between the Central and Atlantic, it is pretty close. I think that with the Atlantic, I'm more kind of drawn to. Well, actually, no. The Central teams are really experienced as well too. Do I like the current playoff format, or would I rather go 1 versus 8? Oh, dude, I'd rather go 1 versus 8. Now, granted, we're getting the Canucks and the Predators. Like that's kind of a unique one that we wouldn't necessarily expect. But yeah, I like that format that I had or that we had about 12, 15 years ago. Capitals and Islanders are the weakest, probably. Pacific has a hard travel schedule. Yeah, I mean that's Pacific hockey for you. Yeah, Nashville and Vancouver. That's going to be like a 5-hour flight between the two, right? All right. Let's get to the poll and yeah, we can close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. And thank you so much for voting, everybody, because by getting all these votes, it's a good representation of our community too. So I like seeing that. Thank you. So Stars, Canucks got good representation here, but ultimately we've crowned the Dallas Stars as the Western Conference champions. So, all right. Stars versus Rangers. Actually, I don't think we've had a lower seeded team win around here. The Leafs almost did it against the Bruins. They got pretty close. All right, so Rangers versus Stars for the Cup. And I do believe, I know that our numbers were a lot smaller at the beginning of this year, but technically our community, I want to say, voted Dallas to win the Stanley Cup this year. The lower seeded teams this year don't have the magic. I don't know, maybe they do. I mean, look at the Panthers last year, but yeah, I'm not as confident about like the Capitals per se. Any thoughts on the Coyotes being inactive and Utah getting an expansion team? I mean, I don't think any of my thoughts are unique here. It sucks for somebody to lose their favorite team, for a community to lose their favorite team, even if it's one of the smallest markets in the game. Like, it sucks no matter what. But at the same time, hey, once we know what the name of this team is for Utah, it's like, look, I mean, we'll be excited for it. I'm sure a lot of us will be, but it came by way of some crappy ownership and management, unfortunately. All right. Let's go with Stars in 4 or 5. All right, everybody. What is going to happen in our proposed Stanley Cup final between the Dallas Stars and the New York Rangers? Peter Laviolette, man, in his first year with the Hurricanes, won the Stanley Cup in 2006. His first year with the Flyers, went on an improbable run with the Predators, right? In 2017, they were wild card number 2, and they went all the way to the final. So he's done some amazing things with the teams he's gone to. So who knows, man? Yeah, Utah Yeti. I'd be cool with it. I'd be cool with it. Robertson for Conn Smythe. I'd love to see Joe Pavelski win the Conn Smythe in this case, but I don't know if he could. But I got to say one thing though: the Stars, if they were to win the Stanley Cup, I would love to watch them pass that around because it would be Jamie Benn first thing. He would lift it up, right? I would imagine he would probably pass it to maybe Seguin next. But then again, Seguin has won a Stanley Cup, but he's been there forever, right? So maybe they would pass it to Pavelski and then hand it off to Ryan Suter and then probably to Seguin. But yeah, those guys have been waiting a long time at the prospect of that. And for the Rangers, right, to possibly end a 30-year drought. Well, really 29. Well, it depends on how you look at it. Is a 30-year drought or 29? I say it's a 30-year drought, right? And yeah, for like Artemi Panarin to finally be a Stanley Cup champion, Mika Zibanejad, Igor Shesterkin, Adam Fox. So yeah, let's see how this pans out because it is pretty close. You'd sell your soul. Yeah, I'm getting to that point where I'd consider amputating my right arm for the Sharks to win a Stanley Cup, or if I could combo it so that they would win a Stanley Cup and the Vikings would win a Super Bowl before I die, I'd be willing to part ways. Oh, there he is. How you doing, Evan? Going for the Rangers because as a Wild fan, you don't want to see the Stars win. I just hope it's not super controversial how it ends. Am I a Sharks guy? Yeah, PCE dude. So I got the mark. There you go, man. I bleed teal. I bleed teal. Wyatt Johnston for the Smythe, dude. I wonder what the ceiling for this guy is, man. He's on a third line. He's got over 30 goals. Rangers won't get past the second round. I mean, it could potentially be a very difficult or very challenging, I should say, second round matchup. Yes, Hurdle is long gone. Yep. .430. Nice. There you go, girl. All right. I'm going to give you 15 more seconds. It looks like we know this one, but it's still pretty close. Refs for Conn Smythe. Nice. Yeah. I hope, you guys know that officiating, no matter what, they're going to screw up here and there. It's just the facts, right? You have to be better than your opponent, and you have to be better than what you can expect from the officials. And that's just how it is. Is the defense core for the Stars better than the Rangers core? I think that's tough. It's tough that's a tough one to convince me about. But I think Dallas has, they've made a big improvement by getting Tanev, and I think that the way that they've structured their pairings has been overall good for them. But Rangers working with, if you have like a healthy Lindgren, and I'm a big Keandre Miller fan, so I still will give it to the Rangers, but it's a little bit closer than it might let on. Cortana for ref. Yeah, I think Cortana could be a good ref. All right, let's close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're technically going with the lower seeded team. So to stick with your predictions at the beginning of the season, we've got the Dallas Stars winning the Stanley Cup, and this one could go the distance as well. Apparently, according to the poll results here, total number of goals. Let's say I'm going to go with 37. We're going to get some goals. Not terribly high scoring. I don't know. Actually, 37 goals over 7 games is not very many. I'm not submitting this anywhere, but yeah. Danelle, hey, thanks for jumping in, man. And how are you feeling about the Rangers? Are you confident that they can get back to the final for the first time in a decade? But yeah, that's what we got right here. Alexa, play Pantera. There we go. That's what I like to see. Not a bad bracket. Well, all right. You guys if you haven't seen my yet, I'm going to pull up mine so you can see how crazy some of my picks are. I didn't really predict all that many upsets, I don't think. But is this the one I got? Yeah, this is my bracket for this year, everybody. I've got the Tampa Bay Lightning just surging through to the final. I have the Rangers making it to the final, but yeah, your eyes do not deceive you. I have, first of all, the Golden Knights bouncing the Stars in the first round. And I made the predictions I did because I really just do not have that big of a clue this year. And I'm a believer in the Jets for how their roster is built out. Of course, you got Connor Hellebuck in goal, and Vasi has really done a good job down the stretch. And like I said, the way that the lines are rolling right now for the Lightning, I think that makes them scary. Could the Panthers beat them in the first round? Absolutely. And can the Hurricanes actually get to the final? Because when it comes to the numbers, right, the odds, they are one of the front runners, if not the front runner. And I think the way they've played in the second half has been banger. My only thing with them is they lost Bunting. Can they find somebody to stir crap up in front of the net? If they can do that, I'm confident that they could be easily as in the Stanley Cup as any of those other teams in the East. Tampa's too old. Dude, Nikita Kucherov isn't looking too old out there. Braden Point, 40-plus goals, right? Vasilevsky, he turned it on. And who knows? We'll see if we hear any updates about Mikhail Sergachev. Tampa Bay, am I kidding you? I know, man. I think I had Tampa going to the conference final in my preseason predictions, right? Yeah, I had my final. I can't remember what my final four was exactly. I think it was Golden Knights against the Avalanche, and I had the Avalanche winning. And then I had the Hurricanes beating the Lightning from the east side. And then my conference or my cup final is Avalanche over Hurricanes. Yeah. It's cup or bust for them. For the Islanders, they should have won against the Hurricanes in the first round. You mean last year? It was pretty close. But the thing is that somehow they have to disrupt the Hurricanes' attack because the Hurricanes just, they pump shots on like they're snacking on goldfish. I don't know why my mind wandered there. Usually when I make an analogy, the first thing that I go toward is food. And I understand some people got to drop off. That's totally cool. I'll do that in a little bit too. Just make sure to hit the thumbs up. And guys, we'll be live again tomorrow, probably during the Hurricanes and Islanders game, but I might bleed over a little bit into the Bruins Maple Leafs game. I think I'll kind of cover the two together. The Kings are just literally there. I know. I haven't seen. There isn't that it factor for me that believes that they can make that deep run. Could they beat the Oilers in the first round? I could kind of see that happening, but then again, their goaltending looked pretty good this year. So, anybody's guess here is just as good as mine because I don't even think that mine is that informed in this year. Who are these Kings? Well, we might see because you never know with the LA Kings when they're the lower seed. Big Jesus is going to dominate. Well, I mean, when we're talking playoffs for the Oilers, Playoffs. When we're talking playoffs for the Oilers, I think it starts with Leon Draisaitl. That dude is maybe the best playoff performer in the NHL currently. How many teams are in it from last year? Well, let's count them up. So the Stars, yeah, the Golden Knights, the Jets, the Avalanche, the Oilers, and the Kings. So 6 teams here, and I think we have 6 on this side, right? All 4 of these teams, the Rangers and the Hurricanes and the Islanders. So we actually have 13 teams who were in it last year. Yeah. Leon was unbelievable. Oh, I think the year before he might have even been better. In that first round against the Kings, it was the Draisaitl show though last year. Thanks, Aaron. Thank you. All right. Well, guys, you know what? We could keep doing this, but we have a lot of hockey to look forward to over the next 2 months almost. So yeah, we'll be back live tomorrow, and let the madness begin, baby. Thank you so much for helping me out by making some predictions here, and we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. And good luck to your teams out there. For those of you who don't have a team in the playoffs, hey, misery loves company. I'm right there with you. So let's just enjoy this together, and hopefully we get one hell of a run and not too many controversial calls. So good night, everybody. We'll see you again real soon.